You guys seem to like my first video on the old world, so today I wanted to tell you more things that might help you getting started in playing this wonderfully fantastic and confusing game. Recently, Creality sent me the CR-10 SE, which you can see behind me, and I've been printing things that are going to aid me or aid you in either getting started or getting back into Warhammer Fantasy or Warhammer the Old World. Pretty much every file I'm going to show off in this video is available to my 3D Printing Go Burr members, so if you are a member of the channel, you'll get free access to these STLs. However, if you don't want to buy one, I actually have all of these items available on my web store to buy without a 3D printer. So if you have a 3D printer, the files are free for members, and if you don't have a printer, you can buy my web shop. I don't know what more you want. So let me tell you about the files I printed today, and let me tell you about this machine as well. So what should you buy to start playing Old World? And it's models. It's funny because you can't buy the models, so that's why I tell you what to buy instead. To get yourself ready for the Old World, you're going to need a few things. Again, this is going to be aimed at people who have never played the Old World before, or people who used to play Warhammer Fantasy Battles and now want to play Old World. And the first thing is since you can't buy the models, maybe you have an army already for a different game, such as Age of Sigmar. And one thing you might want to look at is conversion trays. Now, these were all printed in Creality's Hyper PLA in white. The nice thing about white is it's great for prototyping because you can write on the back whether things are too hot, too cold, or banging. But I should say, all of these prints are available on our web store either in grey or black. So either grey, which is perfect for painting, or black, so you have to paint it all. Now, these are 25mm round movement trays that convert your bases to 25mm square for Warhammer Fantasy. Once you've laid in your models into these trays, it actually gives it the exact same footprint as if you had 5x2 or 10 25mm bases all ranked up together touching base. This makes it the same footprint. When we're looking at movement trays, we have to remember that most of the time we're going to be measuring to the actual model rather than the tray. By measuring to the tray in this instance, it adds that little bit of extra distance that a square base would have. And this allows you to use round models to either try out Warhammer the Old World using Age of Sigmar models, or even just proxies. You don't have to use something that's similar. Or you can just use proxies like these Ossiarch Bone Reapers would actually make great Tomb Guard because they're way more armoured and a lot more interesting than 30-year-old skeletons. You can also use it so you can use Age of Sigmar models in the Old World and then use them back in Age of Sigmar without actually damaging any models or changing it for either game. And again, as I said, if you're interested in any of these, they are available on my web store, or the STLs are available in my Discord, which you can join with the link down below. Now, you might be saying, Mikey, I don't care, I don't have Age of Sigmar models because it's a trash game and they shouldn't have killed Warhammer Fantasy in the first place, and I love Warhammer Fantasy. Well, that's great. You're welcome, Grognars. I'm surprised you're still watching. However, what you might want instead is conversion adapters for square bases. Now, these take 20mm bases and make them 25, very much in the same vein as these round ones. These ones will convert round ones to 25mm square. These will convert 20mm square to 25mm. These are great is if you played the game previously and you want to jump straight into the action, but you don't want to be playing on too small bases, because realistically measurement's going to be quite important in this game because it's all about rank and flank movement. So you're going to want something that's going to put you on the same size as a 25mm rank and flank. It's very easy. Again, you just measure to the tray because this is all going to count as part of your base instead of just the miniatures themselves. And all you do is like, you got like 40 night goblins and you don't want to rebase them, then there you go. You just drop them in there and off you pop. You can play from tomorrow, or you can play from whenever you get the rulebook, I guess. So the first one, conversion trays. I think they're super helpful. As I said, while you can't buy products, it's really nice to be able to proxy things. And if you've not played the game or you'd like to try the game out and you have loads of models that are similar, like Soulblight Gravelords or like Lizardmen, like Ossiarch Bone Reapers, for example, you can either proxy these as something else, or you can just run your Age of Sigmar army in the Old World and then run it back in Age of Sigmar whenever you like. It's kind of like that freedom of being able to do both is actually really nice, and they're really quick to print and they're really cheap. So, however, you really like the Old World, you want to play a legacy army such as Soulblight Gravelords as vampire counts, or you want to base up your old miniatures because you've fed up of using your night lobby movement trays because you want to run proper bases, then you need bases. This is like a really simple one. I'm not going to dwell on this too long because they're just bases. You might need some bases. The new game has taken old miniatures and put them on larger bases, and also people are starting to look at Age of Sigmar models and putting them onto square bases to use in the Old World because they're the only armies you can buy right now. Lizardmen and vampire counts might be legacy, but they're also the most up-to-date range that you can buy on the shelf today. who knows when Tomb Kings will be coming back in stock.
Also, Games Workshop are selling their own bases, but they are very expensive. So just look for alternatives, whether that's printing your own, buying them from me, or buying them off eBay.
But while bases might not sound too exciting, what could be exciting if you are that Night Goblins player with 9 million Night Goblins and you're like, Mikey, I don't want to rebase these, but also I don't want to keep using the conversion trays. Understandable. How about you like make yourself or buy some base adapters, just like some of these that stick together. So you can take your 20mm bases to 25mm just by gluing a little extension around the edge of the base. That way, it's a very quick and easy way that you can just take your models from 20mm to 25mm straight away. If you bought some stuff on eBay and they got the wrong bases, you can just print some extenders or just buy some extenders. They go from tiny infantry to normal size infantry, or even a lot of the cavalry have been updated. So we have also got these heavy cavalry conversion that take normal cavalry to heavy cavalry bases, which is obviously always convenient, because you don't have to rebase them. Obviously, like cavalry or slotters especially as well, they're like a pain to rebase because you have to like chop them off and then pin them onto the new bases. And rebasing is just a pain when it's more than like 5 models. So like using the base extenders, you can glue these on, sand them in, fill them with milliput if you really need to, and then just like rebase the top and then like put a little bit of sand around the edge, and then it's just redone. You could even just redo the texture on top of the base, and it is relatively quick and relatively straightforward, and then it's done. You don't have to use conversion trays, you don't have to rebase your entire army, you just put the extenders on. You can, even if you really want to, just paint them just matte black, and then that'll probably be okay, or whatever the edge of your base color is. But I said all of these were printed in Creality PLA Hyper, and they're also all printed on the CR-10 SE behind me. I've been quite impressed with the CR-10 SE. It's a very high quality Ender 3. Creality have made a lot of printers exactly like this one. They have got this format down to a T. Every other bed flinger printer that you've seen is basically based off the original Ender 3, and that was made by Creality, and this is like an upgraded version of that. Even though it's called the CR-10 SE, it feels like the CR-10 is kind of like a premium version of any other printer that they already make, or any other printer on the market. However, because it's a premium version, it also comes with what, in my opinion, a premium price. Currently on Amazon, you can grab a CR-10 SE for around £381, which comparatively to other companies in the market is quite expensive. Now, the reason you've got this price is because you've got auto bed leveling, which is great. There's no manual adjustment on that bed. You've also got linear rails and a direct drive. Linear rails they're way more sturdy compared to like using the bearing wheels, because the bearing wheels don't always hold properly. This is like super duper sturdy. It's really, really a nice piece of kit. You are paying for it. There are lots of other printers that are a similar price available on the market that do a lot of the similar things, but this just kind of feels like it's got a little bit of the premium quality that you would expect from like a professional machine, rather than my first hobby, I'm going to go out and drop 400 quid on a printer. You could probably get a similar printer a little bit cheaper, even not from Creality themselves. You could probably get a printer that has a lot of similar features, probably for the less of the price. This has direct drive, it has linear rails, it has a PDI texture sheet, it's auto bed level, and it's auto Z-axis. It's got a lovely LED lamp, which makes it look really cool in the background, like so. But every other printer kind of has that right now, and this feels like, in my opinion, like the last in the generation of bed slingers by Creality. If this was like we're not going to make another bed slinger, this is kind of like everything we've learned from 3D printing in our time in the company, and this is the one. This is the final one we're going to make. I'd be like, yeah, I get it. I kind of understand. It's a nice printer, don't get me wrong. It's really good. It is premium. It's just expensive. But if they release this and then release another one with slightly different features, it'll just feel like with this one, I believe they're trying to just chase speed, because like there's been so many big printer companies that have like landed in the last 12 months that have just like pushed the boat so far ahead from the other 3D printer companies that were like knocking about before, look much like Creality. It feels like they're chasing high quality printing with high speed, which I don't think they're quite having to be able to achieve. So the best thing you can actually do with this printer is slow it right down to make the print qualities a lot higher. However, I do really like the machine. I only had one fail when using the land printing, because I completely forgot to take a print off the bed and then started another print, and I was like, whoa, why is that fail? And I was like, oh, I'm stupid. However, I do think I do really like the idea of a printer. I have multiple printers in another room. I do like the idea of adding this to my farm and just having it on a shelf, and whenever I need to print something, I just click on my computer, go onto Creality Print, slice it, and send it to the printer without interacting with the printer. I quite like that as a feature. I know a lot of the printers already have this feature, especially ones I've talked about on the channel before, but I think that, like, the printing over Wi-Fi is such a nice feature, and that's pretty much how I printed every print on this. And one thing as well is that my other printers don't do is when I do send a print over Wi-Fi to this printer, it saves it to the USB, which is just so nice. If you like print something, you want to print it again, I don't have to boot up the PC. I know it's already on the USB, but if I want to send that initial one, I can slice it, send it, go check it. All right, do I need another one? Let's keep printing. And I said everything you see in this video has been printed with the CR-10 SE, so a good printer, kind of expensive, premium, probably more professional market rather than hobby market. Not doing anything too exciting, anything new. It just feels like a very polished version of what they already sell for a very high price. But anyway, once you've rebased stuff, you're going to need movement trays. Now, Games Workshop obviously already sell movement trays. They sell the modular movement trays, and I think the modular movement trays are a good product. I do think they're very expensive when you could buy something like this, which you don't have to cut out and slice your fingers open, and they are ready to go. They're expandable. The main thing is you don't have to like chop these up. You just decide what size you want and buy one, or you print one, you know? You can just print them straight out and then they're ready to go. They're just that you can even back them up together and make one giant monster tray, which is really nice. But the one thing is a lot of people are like obviously starting to play Bretonians, and the one thing that the base increase has actually caused a problem with is that on the underside of a movement tray, it has the 20mm squares, which we don't really use anymore. There's the 25mm squares, but the heavy cavalry are a lot bigger than that now. So cutting out a lance formation is a pain in the arse, but I have a tray ready to go. So you can have a movement tray with your lance formation that you can literally just drop them in and just move them around, gallop and smash coconuts together as much as you like. Just easily, you know, just it's right there. The other thing as well is that with the modular movement trays by GW, whilst I think the product is fine, I do think it's gone up a lot because it used to be £6, but that's by the by. The thing is with it is because it's a big lump of plastic, there's been a lot of warping. There was this video by Garfi on Twitter that was showing like how warped the movement trays were.
I was sent some from Games Workshop for free, so my thoughts on my own, but I wanted to let people know. Both of mine are warped. Both my sheets are horribly warped, so they're unusable.
Mine were really warped. I ended up flattening them down, but he actually used a 3D printer to warm up the plastic and then melt it back down, which is genius. And the final one is kind of like a 4.1. It's not really a 5, but it's a 4.1. And this isn't available on my web store because it is actually from Cults 3D. If you're scared of commitment like I am, you can actually 3D print modular movement trays, much like these ones. These come in pieces. You print as many as you like. Again, I'll leave a link down with the Cults link and the description. They weren't that expensive. But if you don't want some from me and you prefer modular ones, these are actually quite nice because what they do is they snap together to make larger sizes. So if you want like a 5x3 tray, you have one right there ready to go. And it has like the ridge on the back as well, because I like to leave the movement trays open at the back purely because when you like add characters, like a model will pop out the back. So I like to leave it open in case I add stuff to the unit. But also like modular ones, if you're going to just build modular ones, it's nice to have the thing in the back so they don't slide around. And speaking of sliding around, my next video, you're going to be very interested. But if you, let's say you've lost half of that unit, you've only got 10 dudes left now, you can snap them back together by removing the middle section. And now you've got a 5x2 ready to go to move your models around. There's some things I think you should buy or print for the old world. Again, all of these files are available in my Discord for members. And if you don't have a 3D printer, you could buy this one using the link down in the description. But if you don't want to do that either, all of the prints are available in my web store, hellstormwargaming.co.uk/shop. Take a look if you are interested. Members also get a discount at my web store, which is available in the Discord as well. So just join the Discord, you get free stuff, and also you get discounts on stuff you might have to buy. So grab some stuff ready for the old world. Maybe you'll get some models eventually, and if not, buy some Age of Sigmar ones and don't tell anyone. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.